Today's podcast is brought to you by Precious Metals Advisor Tom Cloud. With nearly 40 years' experience in the precious metals industry, Tom Cloud offers sound advice and the best rates on precious metals. Learn more at ftmdaily.com/gold.
Friends, welcome to the Wednesday edition of Follow the Money Daily, a daily podcast dedicated to your personal, spiritual, and financial liberty. Found right here every single day on Follow the Money Daily. You can find us online at ftmdaily.com. My name is Jerry Robinson. I am your host and also the author of the book Bankruptcy of Our Nation. And as always, I'm joined by my lovely co-host wife and the national director of our Christian Financial Advisor Network, Jennifer Robinson. Hey, Jennifer.
Hey, Jerry. We have a really interesting topic today, and it affects practically everyone in this nation, really most people in the globe for that matter. It is a very near and dear topic to us because we were faced with a very stark reality when this idea and this concept came to us several years ago.
So true. And we're going to take a break from the madness in the world today. You know, we could certainly talk about the outbreak of violence that we're seeing in Israel today. We could talk about what's happening in Iraq with ISIS. We could talk about what is happening here, even in the United States, at our own borders. And there's many other things to talk about for that matter, the dollar and the petrodollar in Germany and France. We've talked about a lot of that lately, but today we're going to take a break. And we're going to focus on something that has to do with you and your liberty. And it has to do in particular with your financial liberty. And the concept that I'm going to share with you today is something that some of you may be familiar with if you've been listening to us for some time. But those of you who are new, this will be new to you. And it's what we call the consumption trap. What is the consumption trap? Well, let me tell you a story to make this a little easier. This is many years ago. I was sitting on my couch and I was watching television. I had a bottle of water in my hand. It was a bottled water. I think I was eating something, from the fridge, just vegging out, watching television, not thinking about anything. Suddenly, I had this epiphany. It was just almost like, I can't even describe what happened. It was just this epiphany that I had. And I thought to myself for just a moment, what am I currently using, or what am I currently holding in my hand, or what do I have in my house that I have actually produced? And when I looked down at the couch that I was sitting on, I had no clue. I mean, I knew I bought it from the furniture store, but I didn't know where that came from. Who assembled this couch? I don't know. I looked at the television and I saw that I was, outsourcing my entertainment. I was paying the cable company to beam in, images of something so I could sit there and veg out. I had a bottle of water in my hand that said it was bottled somewhere in New York. So I got up out of the couch and I began to walk around the house and I thought, okay, wait a minute. Surely there is something in this house that I have made myself. I went into the kitchen. I went into the bedroom, I went into the bathroom, I went into the garage. I began looking through my house and I realized at that moment that nothing around me was something that I was producing. Instead, what I was doing was I was taking all of the money that I earned and I was giving it to corporations so that they could provide me those things. I was consuming, I wasn't producing. There's a big difference. People who are wealthy today are producers. No doubt they consume part of their wealth, but they are primarily producers. People who are poor in this world specialize in consumption. People who are rich and wealthy in this world specialize in production. And I came to this realization that I was not producing anything for my own family, producing anything for my own home, anything for my own way of life. Instead, I was outsourcing all of my production. I relied upon other people to produce for me. Now, this may not sound like a big deal, But I'm going to show you in just a minute that this is much more than just a big deal. In many ways, it could even be somewhat of a conspiracy. You know, for those of you who believe in conspiracies, well, I believe that this one is as close as you get to a conspiracy. I believe, after researching this for some time, that there are three powerful financial forces that are working against every American today. And while they may not be coordinated back in some back room, you know, some smoke-filled back room, and they're all concocting some sort of plot, no doubt about it, it is really a conspiracy against the American people. These three powerful financial forces that I'm referring to are corporations, media and advertisers, and financial institutions. Corporations are in business to find a need in the marketplace and then to fill it with an appropriate product or service. Advertisers are in business to promote the products and services created by corporations. And financial institutions are in business to loan money on products and services created by corporations that have been promoted by the advertisers. And you may be thinking to yourself, well, how can these three industries really cause me any kind of harm? Or how can they cause harm to my financial plan? The truth is they can't, unless you give them your permission. And finding out how to gain your permission has been exactly what these three industries have been studying meticulously for the last several decades. In fact, once you give them your permission, that is the moment that your future wealth begins transferring from you and your family to them and to their family. It's almost like a conveyor belt. Every single day that you go to work and you come home and you begin to buy all of these things and outsource all of your production, they take practically all of your money.
And Jerry, I think the part that hit me the hardest when we came to this realization is I didn't feel like I ever had a choice. Like you were just saying that you have to give these institutions, these corporations, your permission to allow them to produce everything for you. However, I didn't really feel like I ever had a choice. Like when did I ever consciously decide to allow my electricity to be beamed in and I pay for it? That it just seemed like it's automatic. You just have to live in this society. I mean, when did we ever decide that we would always buy our clothes from the department store? Or when did we ever decide that we would choose not to entertain ourselves, but to get entertainment from the cable company? And perhaps many of us have never even made that decision consciously, like I felt. I had never even been given that opportunity to decide. And that, I think that's what made me a little bit angry even though I didn't really stay angry, because of course, here in just a few minutes, we will provide some solutions that you and I discovered and put into practice. But it's okay to outsource some things. It's okay to consume. We're not saying that's a bad thing, but to be able to choose on a conscious level is, I think, the key to all of this.
Whenever your consumption becomes involuntary, as it has in our modern era, the result can lead to financial devastation. And that's exactly where we find ourselves today. And the fact that when you're born into this society, you're right. You never have that moment where you're told you can have a couple of different courses in life. No, here's what you're told. You're told, go to school, and get a good job, go to college, get a good job, pay your bills, get a white picket fence, send your kids to the best colleges, max out your 401k, get a house, don't rent. I mean, society tells you how to do things, right? And here's what happens to most people. Most people hurt themselves trying to maintain this facade of whatever America has told them to do. Okay, I have to go buy a house. I have to go buy a house, even though I don't have any money, right? I have to go buy a house. Now I got to furnish the house. I don't have any savings, so I'll put it on a credit card. Oh, now I need to max out my 401k. Don't need to put any money in savings. I need to put money in a 401k. Oh, I can't touch the 401k until I'm 59 and a half. Oh, I need savings. Well, I better start saving. Well, I can't afford to save because I got too many bills. This system is broken. It's completely broken. And what's so unfortunate is how many people listening to my voice right now work at jobs that they don't like. How many of you listening to me right now could say, Jerry, that's me. That's me. I am working a job that I don't like, or I have a life that I I don't know how I ended up here, or I have too much debt, or I'm underneath a tremendous amount of financial pressure, and I don't know how it happened. Well, the consumption trap explains a lot. It explains a lot because, as Jennifer was saying, you're just driving down the road and you're getting messages from media and advertisers creating a need, creating a desire, promoting a lifestyle. And what they're doing is they're trying to sell you what the corporations have come up with. The corporations have to create goods and services. It's the media's job to promote them.
Yeah, Jerry, think about ever since we had this epiphany, every time we watch a show or a movie, we always make note of the name brand products,
placement.
The product placement, and do this for the next month and look and see how many things that you are being infiltrated with by the corporations and the media that you wouldn't have even realized before. And furthermore, on these sitcoms and these drama shows that come on in the prime time in the evening, think about the lifestyle they are promoting that we feel like we need almost on a unconscious level. And then we go out and we try to fulfill this magical, not real lifestyle that we see on these different shows.
Yeah, they're promoting a lifestyle, and in many cases it's unsustainable. I mean, people can't do it because they don't earn enough money to live the lifestyle or whatever the case might be. And that's where the financial institutions step in, right? They say, "Oh, you don't have any money. Oh, but you need to have these goods and services that'll really make your life better. So we'll give you some easy monthly payments. How about that? We'll provide some credit." And so the financial institutions just plug right into this consumption trap, and they create the credit industry, which now, by the way, is larger than our manufacturing industry. The credit industry is one of our largest industries we've ever had. And they help provide those big ticket items that you just need to have in your home now for those easy monthly payments, those low monthly payments that they promise. So think about this. How many people listening to my voice, as I said a while ago, are saying, I'm in a situation that I don't like. I don't like the situation I'm in. I'm under financial pressure. I feel like I can't make it to the end of every single month, or maybe I am okay to make it to the end of the month, but I feel like I'm just spinning my wheels. I'm not really getting anywhere. Well, welcome to America. Welcome to the consumption trap. The whole purpose of this consumption trap is to take money out of your pocket and put it into somebody else's pocket. That's what your television tells you to do every single day. That's what your magazines tell you to do every single day. That's what your news programs tell you to do every single day. That's what the media is. The media is the promoter of the corporations. The corporations come up with products, and then, like Jennifer said, you find a show on TV that you like. Oh, I love this show. We'll dissect it. You think the media just puts on TV shows with no product placement? You don't think they're promoting a lifestyle? Of course they are. I mean, they sell everything. Watch, one of the biggest product placements I've ever seen is Comedy Central's Colbert Report and the Jon Stewart Daily Show. These guys are just constantly plugging products, and they're calling them skits, right? But it's all, they get paid money to promote products in their skits, and you think it's a funny skit, but actually what they're doing is they're promoting a product, right? And the corporation loves it because they don't have to come up with a 30-second ad. They just have Jon Stewart or Stephen Colbert, or even you go over to Fox News and you find people over there that do the same thing. They push these ideas, and they get paid. Now, what makes this so sad is that many people who are trying to maintain this illusion of prosperity, they're trying to buy those goods and services that they've been told that they need to survive, or to have a good life, or to have a happy life. They're doing everything that society has told them, and it's almost as if they're on a treadmill. And they're on a treadmill, and they're just running. Why do they have a brand new car? Well, because they need one. And why do they have a brand new set of furniture? Because it was on sale, and it was easy low monthly payments. And why do they have a smartphone? Well, because it's what everybody has today. All my friends have a smartphone. And then you begin to look at everything that we're doing. No wonder you can't get ahead. No wonder. And the corporations don't care that you can't get ahead. What do they care? As long as your payment comes in, right? They don't care if you get ahead. So why do you have that job that you hate? You have that job that you hate so that you can pay the corporations for everything that they've sold you. That's why you have the job that you hate. Well, Jerry, I have to put food on the table. Of course you got to put food on the table. But do you need to do all the other things that you do? Who told you you had to do all those things? Where did that come into your mind in the very first time? When did you have that epiphany that says, I have to have somebody mow my lawn. I have to have a new pair of shoes. I have to have the new smartphone. I have to have a new car. I have to have this. I have to. Well, at some point, you're running on life's treadmill and you can't get off now because you have to have all of these things and your paycheck barely covers them and you're stuck. You can't get out. You can't save. You can't do anything at all.
And a lot of times parents think that they are doing their children a favor by making sure they have all the latest and greatest and, and private school education. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but our children, have become sort of almost financial liabilities now, and instead of assets. And it's due to this consumption trap too, because think of all the things that you are bombarded with that, a loving parent would get this for their children. And then, of course, all of the media and advertising that your children are exposed to as well. So I think that's another area of this that people think that they're being maybe bad parents or not as loving parents as their neighbors if they are unable to get these things for their children. And that is totally false as well. Because
they're not going along with the consumption trap. They're not agreeing to go along with what the corporations are saying. Corporations say, give us money. And some people say, no, we're not going to give you money, right? We're not going to do it. Jennifer and I have taken some things to an extreme. You already know that we've moved out from the city because it was more expensive to live in a big convenient town than it is to live out in the middle of nowhere where we are now. So our cost of living is much lower. And when it comes to Christmas time and all of that, we have told you that we make our own gifts. We're not going to go down to Walmart and load up on a bunch of Chinese made goods. I used to do that, but that's what I'm telling you about this program today. This epiphany, now, I want to say this. I'm not saying that consumption is bad. It's not at all. I mean, it's required. But as I said earlier, when consumption becomes involuntary, when you knee-jerk react and you say, it's Christmas, I have to go spend $500. Or, it's Easter, I have to go spend $200. Or, there's a brand new smartphone, I have to go buy it. When you start knee-jerking like that, you're dead. You're fine. You're as good as toast. And the corporations love zombies. They love zombies. Don't be a zombie. Don't be a zombie. How many American families are just one paycheck away from foreclosure or bankruptcy because of this consumption trap? The answer is too many to count, I'm sure. Today, the consumption trap has convinced our entire society that every good, every service that you use should be outsourced to corporations. It's better that way, right? It's better if you buy it from a corporation than it is from you doing it yourself. And I don't mean just some goods and services. I mean all goods and services. At no time in world history have we lived in an era where we are so completely dependent upon others for basic necessities. In the past, for the last 6,000 years, men have had to figure out how to get their own food and their own water, right? Now we just run down to the grocery store, and that's nice and convenient. What about utilities? For 5,800 years, people lived without them, right? Somehow they made it. And now we require them, and there are ways to generate your own utilities, but the corporations don't want you to do that. They want you to outsource it to them. Entertainment. Entertainment's one of the biggest ones. For years and years and years, for millennia, people had to entertain themselves. Or maybe there would be something in the town or the village they go down and check out. But today, entertainment's expensive. I mean, look at your cable bill. And you're outsourcing your entertainment to Hollywood and to these different places, and half the time it's not even good to begin with.
Jerry, it's been a few years, honestly, since we have been to a movie theater. But even back then, I think it was well over $25 for us to go see a movie. I don't even know how much it is today, but my goodness, to go see a movie that you can get on a Netflix account a couple months later for $7 a month. Ooh, I don't know about that. And just for entertainment that lasts just a couple of hours, these are things that we just have to think about whether we want to spend our hard-earned money on these things.
So true. That's so true. And of course, we could go on and talk about different things like clothing and, other types of, things that we outsource, services and whatnot. And I want to be the first to say, I'm not advocating that we all go out and buy a generator. I'm not advocating that everybody go out and plant a garden, take up sewing, although some of those things would be good for us to know. There's nothing wrong with going back to our roots and, being able to take care of ourselves. And if you're inclined to do any of those things, I do not discourage you by all means. But instead, my primary goal with today's show is to help open your eyes to the extent that you have outsourced your basic necessities to those who are willing to produce. And you know what? The producers are the ones who are getting rich. Meanwhile, the consumer has bought into the mentality that they simply need to get an education, get a job with one of the nation's top producers, and then outsource all of their production to the producers. In fact, isn't the modern concept of financial success sold as being able to outsource all of our production? So true. I mean, if you can outsource your lawn mowing to somebody, but somebody else can't, you're considered more financially prosperous than they are.
That is so true, Jerry. If someone cleans your house for you, if someone paints your toenails for you, if someone cuts your hair for you, I mean, you are definitely considered in this society more successful than those who cannot do that.
You think about it, businesses have always been around. There's nothing wrong with that. Services have always been around. There's always been a need for trade, always been a need for barter. But our modern day producer-consumer system, this is unparalleled. The consumption trap has enslaved thousands and thousands, maybe even millions of Americans to jobs that they despise. And it has bound them to debts that they can't afford to pay. And again, the reason why they do all this is to get more money so that they can go out and consume more. I mean, it's almost psychotic. It's almost psychotic. So the irony is deep here. The truth is that the producers are the ones who are getting ahead in our society, right? They're the 1%ers that we talk about. You have to produce something in order to earn money, right? If you consume money, you're not making money, right? It's one of the things that Jennifer no longer says. Whenever you walk into the store and you're tempted to tell me that you saved 20% on something, what is our rule on that?
Well, if we actually spent money in the store, we never say we saved money because there was no money being put into the savings account. Okay. But instead we spent less. We spent less,
right? And that sounds like it's like, semantics, you're kind of splitting hairs, but the truth is you cannot say the producers are like, come and save money by giving us money, right? And you're going, wait a minute, hold on, wait, that doesn't even make any sense. I can't save money by giving you money, right? That doesn't make sense at all. So, I mean, and in the near future, as inflation rises due to a mixture of poor monetary policies, growing global resource demand, producers are going to be able to pass on their rising costs to consumers. So, that's going to be really good for the producers. But if you're just a consumer and you don't produce anything, who are you going to get to pass your costs on to? Nobody, right? You can walk in and ask for a raise, but you may not get it. The producer is positioned to where he can benefit from rising cost. He can benefit from rising inflation. And believe me, it's not going to get any easier for those who want to rely upon corporations for every good and service that they consume. That's one of the things that we strongly teach here is self-reliance. And what we mean by that is being able to take care of your own basic needs, your own basic necessities, having that taken care of, learning how to take care, getting some of those back to basic kind of skills, we believe is so important. Now, on tomorrow's program, we're going to dive into 4 specific strategies that you can take to overcome and triumph over this consumption trap. What if you not only can learn how to lower your consumption, like we're going to teach you tomorrow, but also, what if you're able to profit from the consumption trap? That would be even better, wouldn't it? What if we could show you how to produce in such a way where you could then sell your production to consumers, because we have plenty of consumers today. We just don't have enough producers.
And Jerry, I want everyone to think about this. Is there something that you feel like you are called to do other than just sit at this desk at your job? For example, maybe you think you should be helping those less fortunate, or maybe, some Christians out there think they should be doing missions work around the globe, or something like that. A lot of people have to wait until retirement to do the things that they are meant to do their entire lives. And what we will give you tomorrow, these solutions, will help you fulfill those callings so that you can get more out of this life.
That is so vital. And that's really what we're going to focus on tomorrow. 4 strategies that you can take to break free from this consumption trap. And friends, what that means is that you can get out of that dead-end job, right? You can get out of that place that you don't like, because you don't have to stay there. That's not your lot in life. I mean, it may be your current lot in life, but it's not where you have to stay. No one has to stay where they are. And I want to encourage you to be bold and to take some strong steps in a new direction. And we're going to talk about that tomorrow, because Jennifer and I have done it, and we can certainly share with you what we've learned over the years. But we'll talk about some of that tomorrow. So be sure to tune in.
We're coming back in just a moment. And remember, to find a Christian financial advisor in your area, visit www.cfanetwork.org.
Hey friends, this is Jerry Robinson from Follow the Money Weekly. Recently, we have been receiving many emails from our listeners commenting on the great help they're getting from our precious metals expert, Tom Cloud. Gold and silver are excellent hedges against the growing threat of coming U.S. inflation. Who's your gold guy? Make it Tom Cloud. With over 30 years experience with precious metals, Tom will answer all of your questions. Don't buy your gold and silver through some call center and pay inflated prices. Call my good friend Tom Cloud and speak directly with him and get all of your questions answered. For a limited time, Tom is offering free shipping and insurance on every gold and silver purchase made by our listeners. Call 800-247-2812. And when you do, tell him that Jerry Robinson from Follow the Money Weekly sent you, and he'll throw in that free shipping and insurance on your entire order. Call your gold guy, Tom Cloud, right now for the very best deals on gold and silver coins. 800-247-2812. That is 800-247-2812.
We're back with more Follow the Money. And if you're looking for a Christian financial advisor in your area, visit our website at www.cfanetwork.org. Now, here's Jerry.
Jerry, the markets are back up today. The market didn't totally crash after those 2 down days like some people have been saying, but the S&P 500 today is up to 1971. Gold is up as well, 1326, and silver is at $21.12 today.
We just had a really great webinar yesterday with all of our Trigger Trade Pro subscribers, our trading software that we offer. And we have just been getting so many good comments from folks who have been telling us that, you know, our trading system prevents people from selling out of the markets before they need to. And I can't tell you how many people I have seen over the years who have issued sell signals whenever they should not have issued sell signals. In fact, I've gotten numerous emails this week from individuals who are concerned about those who are predicting some sort of chaos this month. I believe one in particular, well, first of all, there was the Stansberry on July 1st who said the dollar was going to collapse on that day. And many people sold out of the dollar. They bought a lot of different things getting ready for that. And it didn't materialize. Now they're saying July 20th. And then I've heard another one, August 28th. And these dates that people pick, you know, it's just silly. It's just, I got to be honest with you. It's just silly. And I wish people wouldn't do it. I wish people would not rely upon those scare tactics and that fear mongering. And instead, I wish people would actually have a system. And that's what we offer here. We offer a system. Our system kept us out of the 2008 crisis. We back tested it and can show that it kept us out of the 1929 crisis. If we were alive back then, it would have got us out. It has also kept us out of most of the little dips that we've had in the market. So, you know, we have a system here. And if you're interested in real information, real information, not based upon somebody said this and some mysterious person is going to be doing this on this day
or some deep inside economist within the government.
Right. Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a lot, the internet has really made a way for a lot of people to get out and talk about things. And that's good in some ways. But in other ways, it's bad because a lot of the bad apples are also out there and they're scaring a lot of people. And listen to me, if you're one of those persons that are out there and you're scared and you're worried and you're confused and you're very concerned about what's happening in this economy, I understand. I'm concerned too. But at the same time, we have to have something that we look at. We have to have something that's a system. And I think that the people I've seen succeed over time have had a system. People who don't succeed over time, they don't have a system. They just make stuff up as they go. And you can't do that in these markets. You have to have something to look at. So our Trigger Trade Pro system is still on sale. It's eventually going to be $99 per month. Right now, you can lock it in and become a founding member at $59 per month or $5.99 per year. And that gives you total complete access to every stock and ETF in the United States. You can track gold through ETFs, silver through ETFs. You can track all of the different indexes. You can track all of the stocks in your 401k or your IRA. It's a powerful, powerful software. And again, we've already had people calling us, telling us that they've done. One guy called me and told me that he's already doubled his entire trading capital. That's a massive, that's just a massive gain in a very short amount of time. You can use it for options. You can use it for so many things. So friends, I would encourage you to get a system if you don't already have one, especially if you're an investor. You've got to have something that you can rely on, and you can always feel free to test ours out. Give us a call if you'd like to try out our system. We offer a full money-back guarantee, and you can get more details by giving us a call or going to our website at ftmdaily.com/pro, and you can learn all about our stock trading system right there. All right, friends. Well, that brings us to the end of our program. Thank you so much for choosing to allow us into your life each and every day right here on Follow the Money Daily. And as always, I leave you with this final word, this time spoken by John Mason, when he said, "Would the boy that you were be proud of the man that you are?" Just something to think about. Remember, friends, when you want the truth about the global economy, just follow the money. We'll see you right back here again tomorrow. Until then, God bless.
All of the information contained on Follow the Money is strictly for informational and educational purposes. The views and opinions of our guests and sponsors, including Tom Cloud and Jay Peroni, are their own and do not necessarily represent the views of FTMDaily.com or Robinson Media Group, LLC. Jerry and Jennifer Robinson do hold their insurance licenses and may offer consulting on life insurance and fixed retirement income products. Jennifer Robinson is an investment advisor representative with Faith-Based Investor, LLC. Remember, never do your financial planning through podcast or radio. It's your money. Be wise. Do your due diligence and always consult a trusted financial professional before making any financial decisions.